I've been hard at work. I've got the catch tank in over there, and I'm just working on the vacuum block.
For the ITBs, I'm installing on my Altezza to try to get a little bit more throttle response.
I was going to use this,
but this didn't work for my application because all of these are completely the wrong size. This vacuum block actually came with the ITBs that I bought.
This is off an Altezza, apparently. I find it hard to believe because you would assume this port was for the brake booster, but it was actually the wrong size.
I spent about 2 hours with a belt from an air belt sander. I turned the belt inside out and then used it to remove the bead and sanded down the pipe until the hose that I had fit.
There is no way that's coming off. I've got this port here for the map and then one port for each ITB, and I'm just connecting up the brake booster now. That's a generous fit. You definitely wouldn't want this hose to be any bigger. If I had have bought a hose smaller, then there's absolutely no way I would have been able to get it on there. So I really don't know how this was for an Altezza. I just want to buy stuff and have it fit. But that's never the case. Nothing ever fits. Now there's no check valve in this hose, and there was no check valve in the OEM hose, and there was no check valve in the connection to the OEM surge tank. So I'm guessing this connection here is the check valve.
A check valve is just a one-way valve that ensures that the brake booster always has vacuum.
But luckily, this end is actually the same size as the PCV. I actually broke the PCV when I was removing it. I was being a bit rough with it and snapped it.
The PCV valve is a little vacuum-operated valve that is part of the emissions system. Some people remove it, but I've heard that it can cause idling issues, so I'm going to keep it. I've got a new PCV valve and a seal, just putting some silicone grease on those and installing them.
Over here. Just got a bit of residue on my fingers, so I'll just use that. Don't need a lot. And oh, geez, that's a tight fit. There we go. That's in. Right, now we need a hose. Now the hose I've gone for is purple. Why purple? Because the black was 3 times the price. I'm not kidding. And I mean, that's purple, so why not, yeah, now we're purple themed. So that's got to go on.
This is a 16mm inside diameter hose I bought from Yahoo Auction. Links will be in the description.
Well, that fits on there really, really nicely. Beautiful. Look at that. Now we're going to tuck this like that. If I could get some kind of holder for here that could hold it out there, that would be really nice. Now I'm not sure where I got this from. It's probably Suzuki, but it's going to work well. It's just a piece of metal with what looks like plasti dip on the outside of it. Yeah, okay. The hole is M6, which is the same as this. So I'm just going to manipulate this into the correct spot, and it'll hold my hose for me, hopefully. Pretty damn good. Got a hose clamp on there. There she is. Let's get the cover back on and see what she looks like. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Before I can bolt the vacuum block on for sure, I need to install the down-pull throttle linkage kit from SQ Engineering. I'll go into why I need to install this when I do the actual ITB install video. This kit needs to be spaced out 25 to 30 millimeters to use the OEM Altezza throttle cable. To do this, I'll be using 2 5/16 thread 25 millimeter long coupling nuts drilled out to 8 millimeters.
Okay, so I've finished making these. Now I need to figure out what length bolt I need. So I take the bolt that came with this thing, measure it. I've got 16 millimeters. I know that these are 25, so 16 plus 25 is 41. So I need a 40 mil bolt to replace this. Lucky for me, I found 2 40 mil bolts, so they'll just go in there like that. Put the original washer on, like that. Now I'm gonna put that through there like that. Spacer on there, and then put it on the throttle body. I have no idea the torque settings for these, so I'm not going to torque them. Just do it up loosely and then come back later Don't want to over tighten them. Probably 11's probably about right. Now, can we get... well, I'm an idiot. Just undo this real quick. Get that out of there. Move the cable out of the way. Or actually, move the cable in the way. Do this up again. Now we just need to set the cable up. But that fits in there pretty good. Slide that through. A 30mm spacer would have worked better probably. Might adjust that in the future. I'm not overly happy with the way that this sort of bends around. That's quite a tight bend, but I'll see how that feels underneath the foot, and if it's fine, then it'll be fine. Got a bit of feeling before the butterfly engages, so I'm pretty happy with that. We can tweak that later anyway, but that's how that's done. That is now installed. Now I went with these because of the size of the contact patch here and here. These are quite wide, so like if I just used a tube, this might have been able to wobble, but because this is so thick, it's not going anywhere. That's really rigid. Like the whole engine's moving rather than the bracket. The ITB adapter that I have has 8mm barbs on it, and they match the 8mm barbs on the vacuum block. So I just bought 1 meter of 8mm silicone hose and cut it into quarters. This vacuum block was designed to fit on these two holes instead of these two holes. Because I'm using the inner holes, if you try to run a straight hose or a slightly curved hose, the hose just crimps. So I found the best way to go is the setup you see here. So we've got a bit of roller coaster action going on, but it'll be fine. Found these, I'm not sure where they came from, but they're for holding your wiring harness out of the way. And I found them, and they've got an M6 hole in them, and they just hold the throttle cable in exactly the right position. So that's a big win. I'll be showing you the full ITB install in another video, but we are getting there. Now we have the vacuum block all sorted and the SQ Engineering down pull throttle linkage kit fitted. The next thing to sort out is the clutch master cylinder reservoir relocation. Gee, that's a mouthful. That I've put together. Then we'll fit the velocity stacks and filter to the ITBs. To see how I did the catch tank, check this video out. I'll see you in the next one. Later.